Being John Malkovich is weird, to say the least. A surreal, uncomfortable comedy with a talented cast and a unique premise. This film had all of the ingredients of a highly acclaimed movie. It's a late 90s cult classic, but it's definitely not for everybody. Part of what's always been so compelling to me about this movie is just the absurd premise. John Cusack's character stumbles upon this tiny little door on the 7.5 floor of his office building, and he realizes that entering it allows him to basically live out the life of John Malkovich, a semi-prominent actor from the 90s. The basic premise is bizarre. I cannot stress that enough. It is bizarre, but it works. It works so well, and part of why it works so well is because of the decisions that Spike Jonze makes. This film is not weird just for the sake of being weird. It's trying to say something. There really isn't a scene that contributes more to the greater idea of what's going on and what Jonze is trying to say than one that occurs about halfway through the film. In it, Craig, played by John Cusack, and his coworker Maxine have basically developed a plan to monetize this door on the 7.5 floor.
Now, when you say that I can be somebody else, what do you mean exactly?
Well, we mean exactly that. We can put you inside someone else's body for 15 minutes.
Can I be anybody that I want to be?
Well, actually...
You can be John Malkovich.
It's perfect. It's my second choice, but it's wonderful. I'm a fat man. I'm sad and I'm fat.
$200.
Yes.
Okay, you gotta crawl in there.
Oh my God.
No, that's what I'm saying. See, I don't really need an extra bath mat. So if I get the set, would it be possible if I could just get maybe 3 extra hand towels? If I get the set instead of the bath mat?
Yes, sir. Sure, we can do that.
Great. That sounds good. And for the color periwinkle?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're out of stock in periwinkle. Do you want to back order?
No, I'll go with the Loden.
Would you like to order anything else?
Well, just what is the difference between the foot pampering looped cotton rug and a bath mat?
The base meaning of this scene is obvious. To the man, the opportunity to be John Malkovich, even for a short period of time, is a form of escape from this sadness, this despair that he experiences on a daily basis. He's incredibly unhappy with who he is. His face lights up at the mere mention of an alternative to living as himself. Every character has their own unique motivation for entering the door and living as John Malkovich. The director really chooses to explore each of these, and that's a major aspect of the film. But in this specific scene, he uses this client to show a character who's really relatable. It allows the viewer to imagine what they would do if they were given the chance to live in the body of a celebrity. It gives them this agency, this ability to put themselves in the shoes of an average person. When you're watching this movie, your brain is already firing. You're trying to figure out what you would do if you got the chance to be John Malkovich for a day. It's important for this movie to be relatable. It shows this self-serving nature of the average person. When you're faced with the prospect of escaping your own miserable life, you jump at the opportunity, and the film's cast does the same thing. They don't really consider the effects that the choices they make have on others. At no point in the scene above, or really the film as a whole, does anyone ask what is going to happen to John Malkovich while they're in his body. Craig and Maxine aren't concerned with it. And if anything, John Malkovich, the human being, is secondary to John Malkovich, the famous actor. And we see this disconnect a lot. It's a very consistent theme throughout the beginning of the movie. All of the characters are way too caught up in the excitement of their discovery to think about the broader implications of it. And then later in the movie, John Malkovich's personal experience while he is possessed is expanded upon. He's actively harmed and even traumatized by people inside his body to the point where he becomes extremely paranoid and mentally unstable. He slowly loses control over his own body to other characters in the film. John chose to use this and the film as a whole as commentary on how the public treats celebrities. When this film came out in 1999, celebrity culture was experiencing a bit of a boom. Paparazzi played a major role in creating that boom. A lot of people called it the gold rush years, the early 2000s and the late 90s. And paparazzi typically earned between 20 and 70% of royalties generated by the photographs they took. It was a huge industry. This led to, obviously, an increase and a decrease in the amount of privacy that celebrities received. People everywhere fought and competed to take photos of their favorite Hollywood actors, and ultimately, it led to a profound invasion of privacy. And that invasion of privacy is reflected in the movie. A good example of just the dehumanization and the disconnect that was experienced by a lot of celebrities in this time comes with Selena Gomez. In an interview, she says, "I remember going to the beach with some family members who were visiting, and we saw, far away, grown men with cameras, taking pictures of a 15-year-old in her swimsuit. That is a violating feeling." So what this shows is this obvious disconnect. And from that obvious disconnect, you see this invasion of privacy. People at large, both paparazzi and fans of celebrities, don't really ever think about the implications of their actions. They're just trying to get more. They're trying to learn more about their favorite actors and singers and dancers. They're never really treating them as real human beings. They live vicariously through all of them, and they seek them out as this form of escape. If a celebrity's photographed wearing clothes from a certain brand, it quickly became a trend among the masses, desperate to live this life that is adjacent to their idols. Celebrities were rich and happy, and they were successful, after all, which not a lot of people had. What makes this film so great, beyond its surreal premise, beyond the phenomenal acting, what makes this film really memorable is how it highlights this parasitic relationship between celebrities and their audience. Ultimately, it's an interesting look into a microcosm of early 2000s and late 90s celebrity culture. It shows just how unique and negative the relationship could be between celebrities and fans. I'm Caden, and thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to me talk about one of my favorite movies, being John Malkovich.